Alright, so this video is just a compilation of all my previous videos as far as incels go, just mashing on one, just so everybody can, get it all in one place. If this is your first time here, thank you for being here. Welcome to the channel. If you could do me a favor, please like and subscribe, really helps me out a lot. Other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day, I hope you have a beautiful life, and let's just get into the video. The first anecdote. Incels are lonely because they aren't willing to do bad things to women, not because they do bad things to women. The reason why lonely men are lonely is that they aren't willing to play the game like other men are. They aren't willing to lie to women and trick them to get them to like them. They want to be genuinely liked by women, so they don't put on the mask that the men that women choose put on. Those men that put on the mask end up with plenty of women to abuse throughout their life, while the guy who is open about being lonely gets called an entitled loser with a bad personality who is abusive to women. This goes against the idea that the personality of lonely men is what is holding them back, as well as lonely men being abusive. How can these men abuse women when they don't even get to be alone with women, and women are so repulsed by them that they are extra careful around them? Abusive men have plenty of women to abuse all the time because they are willing to do terrible things in pursuit of women. Meanwhile, lonely men get demonized constantly by women who have been abused by non-lonely men. Nice guys truly do finish last, and they get the blame for the negative actions of mean guys. My whole thing with this kind of subculture on the internet is a lot. I mean this in the nicest way, and I'm not trying to downplay anybody's feelings or what anybody's going through. But I feel like it comes with a woe is me mindset, because the way I look at it is nobody's life is equal. Nobody's life is fair. I did not grow up with money. It does not make sense for me to be mad at somebody who grew up with money who has a lot more opportunities than me. So in the looks department, it does not make sense for me to be mad at someone who's better looking than me, that can get more women than me, that can get more opportunities than me. Life just isn't fair. Everyone's giving a different deck of cards at birth. Some people come from money, some people are good looking, some people are athletic, some people are really smart. Everybody is different. For me to sit back and just accept defeat and say, whoa, I'm just a loser. Oh, I'm just lonely. I'm just going to be lonely forever. People are repulsed by me. Like, there's not things that you can't change. And the worst part is the people that get kind of far in life, like past 20s, 30s, 40s onwards, and still kind of have this mindset, is you really didn't change anything to get to the point where you're at, where you're just kind of, for lack of a better term, just miserable, just bitter at the world, bitter at pretty women, bitter at attractive men. You feel like everybody's against you. And then even in kind of this message, he said something like, how can we abuse women? We don't even get to be alone with them. So would you abuse women if you got the chance? Like that whole sentence doesn't make sense. And then saying things like people who are able to get women just abuse them. Just a whole generalization, just throwing a whole blanket over people who are able to get women. It doesn't make sense. If you live life long enough, you realize there's mean women, there's mean men. There's a-hole women, there's a-hole men. To generalize off of bad experiences just never was a good idea. It's never something that makes sense. You're only hurting yourself. It's kind of a woe is me situation. Nice guys finish last and get blamed for the negative actions of mean guys, is what was said. Saying that other men put on a mask to attract women and abuse them. And then a lot of men in this situation kind of do it to themselves because they make themselves unlikable. You become mean. Like I said, you become bitter in the situation. So whenever you see someone in danger or something, you just feel the need to just mock them or be a douche to them. You're not helping yourself. I understand there's things like anxiety that may stop you from going out there and chasing things, or going out there from not being lonely anymore. But any advice I have to that person is just go to events, charity events, free events, donations. I feel like those are a lot of people that are at things that genuinely nice people would do, and just conversate, get out your comfort zone. It's like anything in life. If you start out bad, you learn how to cook, your first few meals are going to be trash, and then you get better. You go to the gym, you're going to be weak. You keep working, you get stronger. You run for the first time, you run 2 minutes, you're dead tired. You keep doing it, you can run a marathon. Everything is baby steps. For you to just accept defeat off of a few bad experiences is just doing you more harm than it is anybody else, and making it a comparative thing makes it even worse. Like I said, comparison is the thief of joy. Everybody knows that. So you focusing on the negatives in your life and just constantly comparing yourself to better looking people who have more money, people who have more opportunities, you are just going to keep putting yourself at a disadvantage and not wanting to do anything, not wanting to change anything. You just got to go for it. I'm not saying that's easy. It's never been easy. Everyone's starting point is different. It's not easy. I'm not going to even joke that it's easy, not going to imagine that it's easy. But if you want to change, you got to change. No one's going to make you change. It has to be a you decision. I got to make that decision. So I hope this guy kind of can figure out his mindset, can open his eyes and change his views on things, and not blame women for being quote unquote easily abused, and not blaming men for putting on a mask. That's all I got for this one. The next story. Yes, this is exactly the boat I was in around 2014, 2015. I was terrified of hurting or offending women, but I went to visit my cousins in my hometown after one of our cousins passed away. I'm 6'1" and not a bad looking guy, but I was always concerned about scaring or offending women. My cousins are notably shorter than me, but they didn't give a F about hurting women's feelings. The weekend that I stayed with them, I saw them get girl after girl by acting like complete assholes and being openly misogynistic, as well as love bombing and all the stuff women say they hate in a guy. There was one girl there who was really interested in me, and I couldn't even talk to her because I felt so guilty about seeing her sexually. She ended up telling my cousin she was disappointed I was so shy. My cousins also made fun of me for being scared of puss. After that weekend, I sort of resigned myself to change from this mindset, and I started treating women with more disdain, and within a month, I had more sex in the last 2 years. I eventually went back to visit Michigan later that year, and I actually ended up having sex with a chick at my cousin's house, and I felt like my life had changed for the better. And someone commented under that and said, okay, there's a huge difference between expressing interest, not backing off when she's obviously disinterested, and hurting her feelings. The girl who was interested in you was interested in you. When women are interested in a man, there's an expectation of some sort of mutual sexual attraction. That's very different than hitting on some random chick who you've never spoken to and make it think sexual from the get. The fact that you think not being shy and showing confidence, objectively attractive traits, is some sort of showing disdain for women is sad for you. Kudos to getting laid, but just cause your body count is growing doesn't make you any more of an attractive partner. Yeah, man. After reading this one, I feel like I said, it's just a very weird mindset. Cause you being shy wasn't the issue. It was you not putting your foot on the gas when someone else wanted you to put the foot on the gas. Like that guy said, you having disdain is kind of weird now, or you being reverting back to how your cousins were being, which you saying it is negative, women saying it is negative, which you seeing it works. So you pretty much became the person you didn't want to be for your selfish needs. Do you see what I mean about these stories and these kind of things? You say that these people that do these things are bad. That person's bad. That person's bad. But you want to be like that person instead of being yourself and getting it a way that you can still hang your head up at the end of the day and be proud of. But this guy said he changed his life for the better after all the love making he's doing now. So I don't know, because I feel like people look at this story and are like, okay, see, I have to be this way. I have to be this way. Like I said, just generalizing things. If that's the type of person you want to be with, don't be surprised when you get either burnt or you get your feelings hurt. When you go into situations like that, because there is a huge difference between having disdain and showing disinterest and hurting feelings. You have to put your foot on the gas if there's attraction there on both sides. She literally told your cousin, yeah, he was a bit shy. Okay, now you learn from that experience, so now you can go back and just be a little bit more upfront, be a little bit more comfortable in that situation, instead of being, hey, you say your life is for the better, so good luck to you. Going through some of these stories, there's like an overall theme of men being like they've kept women more interested in them when they were complete douches to them and just treated them poorly. And again, my point is that a person you want to be around? Do any of these relationships last? Because I guarantee 90% of you aren't married. I guarantee 90% of you aren't in long-term relationships. How'd you get your wife? Oh, I treated her like trash, and she just fell in love with me. That's no one's story. That's no one's origin story to a beautiful relationship. So again, you were doing all this because you were trying to fulfill your selfish gain. You're not trying to be seen as an incel, which again, that's self-titled. I don't understand that term because think about it like this. So by that definition, someone who's involuntary celibate. So by that definition, every 12-year-old, every preteen, every kid ever is just an incel because they're not having sex. I would imagine most 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds hitting puberty are mad horny. So by definition, by you guys' definition, they're all incels. They're all losers. Again, you self-titling yourself this just to join a group or see yourself in a negative light and feel like you're down on your luck or you can't achieve anything has always been a weird concept to me. Putting yourself behind people, putting yourself under people, saying you're less than people. Like I said, it's the negative Olympics type of thing. Going back to my point earlier. Just because your deck of cards is different from the next guy's doesn't mean you're less than. Just because you're at a disadvantage doesn't mean you can't get it as well. You reverting to the people that you look down upon. These people are abusing women, you say. These people are treating women horribly, you say. Instead of you being different, you're saying, I gotta do that too. This is what women want. Just overgeneralizing it. These are the people you want to be around. This is the circle of friends you want to be associated with. Alright. The next post. Am I an incel? I don't want to be labeled as one. I am 19. I don't try to date because I know no girl would take me seriously. But I don't hate women at all. I understand their disgust when they see me, and I understand that it's natural they would want someone better than me. I don't go on incel forums at all, and I do wish I could date someone in the future. Edit. Thanks everyone for the support and help. I'm trying my best to stay on the right track, and while improving myself and accepting myself is hard, I will keep trying. Because this is one of those situations. You're 19. You're expecting so much from yourself. You're expecting all this for what? The next person someone comment under, you're 19, bro. Despite what you see on TikTok and IG, most kids are in the same boat. Exactly. You're not an incel. You're just a regular kid. You're just young. Someone put up below their anecdote, they said, I didn't date until I was 24. I'm 40. I'm in my 40s, married with 2 kids. You're fine, bro. Work on your self-esteem issues, though. If you keep telling yourself you're disgusting and no one will want you, that's the vibe you're emitting out to the world. That's my point. You started off by saying you're disgusting. A lot of people say they're repulsive. A lot of people say no one would ever want them. And you just stop there. You don't change anything. You just want people to accept you as you are. You obviously see that you're at a disadvantage for whatever reason, because you're not tall enough, because you don't look good enough, because you don't make enough money. You see yourself at a disadvantage. But instead of changing anything, you get angry at the world, hop on forums, not this person, but just, a lot of incels in general, hop on forums and just start spewing hate into the world, emitting all this negative energy, thinking you're less than, thinking the world owes you something, thinking women are the problem, thinking attractive men are the problem, instead of looking within and changing anything about yourself. It just boils down to a lot of these guys have self-esteem issues. I don't have the answers on what you can do to change your self-esteem. Obviously, look within yourself. That's free. Just see ways, just really self-reflect and see what things you need to change. What can make you a better person? What can make you more approachable? What can help you get more comfortable expressing yourself or talking to people? Things like that would help out a lot. But you just giving up and cursing the world and wishing death upon everybody. Some people going to the stream and saying bad people deserve bad things that happen to them. Going to the stream and saying that person deserved this person deserved that. You get rejected, so F you, you're ugly anyway. All that negative stuff. It all just reflects back on you. It all has to do with your self-esteem. The next thing that isn't free, but is always a resource, is seeking out therapy, seeing how you can change your view of yourself. Because for most people, unless you want to, throw bags at people, you're just stuck the way you look, as far as like your face and everything. Haircuts you could change, you could lose weight, you can gain weight. But as far as your face, that's you. As far as your height, that's you. Like I said, unless you're throwing money bags at people to change these things, those are the cards you're dealt. This is your life. You can either roll with the punches or you can just get beat up. You can keep saying you're ugly, you're repulsive, or you can work out. You can get a haircut. You can keep doubting yourself. Because like I said, you go into these situations pre-rejecting yourself. You don't even try. That's the issue. Like I said earlier, with anything, when you first start out, you suck. It's okay to suck. Everything sucks at first. But you gotta keep going and keep going and keep going until it becomes easy, until you get comfortable, until you get the results you want. And understand being rejected is absolutely terrifying. Getting rejected absolutely sucks. These are things you just can't let go because it's just human nature. 10 people tell you look beautiful, one person tells you're ugly. The one person that told you ugly is all that sticks with you. It's a negative economy on the internet, so that's all that sticks out to people. That's all you're stuck with is the negative experiences you have. But you gotta learn to grow. You gotta learn to let these things go and not let them define you and make you stagnant in your life. This next one is an example of someone who went off the deep end. Women should be forced to sleep with incels. There are numerous ways to do this, but society should take a section of women's population and make them sleep with incels. They could even be compensated financially with free services. In a hunter-gatherer tribe, the chief has to give the members of his tribe a woman, or he would be killed. For most of our evolutionary history, women were paired off using corrosion or social pressure. Sacred prostitution. I was reading about temple prostitution, and apparently nearly every nation in the ancient world did it, from Babylon to Greece and even Rome. In Greece it was the temple of Aphrodite, and in Babylon, Ishtar. With modern incels, it would have to be a short-term relationship akin to a girlfriend experience to work. Simple transactional prostitution won't meet the needs for love in incels. They can go back to effing Chad after doing their service. Or option 2, state-mandated girlfriends. It would be illegal for women to be single or share the same man. If a woman is single, the state would find her a boyfriend with similar looks, wealth, and status level to her. She doesn't have to say yes and is free to find a partner on her own. If she remains single for too long and refuses to accept any offer provided by the state, she would go to prison. Men who are virgins past a certain age, say 20, will be provided with a girlfriend by the state who must remain with him for a short time. Remember, these relationships can end before you have to find another partner, and it can't be the same Chad. There is no solution to the incel crisis other than forcing women to sleep with incels. I am more concerned about the suffering of long life true cells than women who may have to F an ugly man for a week before going to Chad. This is what I mean. Someone who's completely gone off the deep end. And I've always heard this rhetoric about Chads and Tyrones when it comes to the incel community. Any good looking white man's a Chad, or just anybody with fair skin, and any good looking black dude is a Tyrone. They feel like the Chads and Tyrones are taking all the women, they're just piping them out, and then you're just stuck there and they don't want to be with you because you are just unattractive, you're very ugly, you don't make any money, you don't have six-pack abs, you don't drive a Lambo. This is how they view women. And like I said, the overall sentiment of this situation is just sad to me. I don't want to look down on these people. This guy right here, he's an absolute loser though. What would this do? So now the men that are hurting, you just transfer all that hurt to the women in the situation. That's your solution. That makes sense to this guy's head. He wrote out 2-3 paragraphs talking about his solution to this. And even compared it to people back in the day in Rome, Greece, Babylon, saying everything was fine back then. No, it wasn't. Those people had slaves. Those people would kill people for less. These were not good times. The solution isn't for women to just sleep with incels. State-mandated girlfriends is what this guy suggested. Sacred prostitution is what this guy suggested. It just boils down to self-esteem and self-worth. You really view yourself as so less than that these are the solutions that you have come up with, forcing women to sleep with people. Like, my only question is, what happened to this dude? He asked a girl out, she said, no, you're ugly. And he just went off the deep end and said, I need a state-mandated girlfriend. All the Tyrones and Chads are gonna take all the women. I can't have no woman to myself. Referring to women as 304s. Like I said, it's just a lonely man pandemic, and it gets so deep and it gets so miserable that people just dive off into the deep end. I remember a long time ago, I remember watching like a documentary on incels on Vice, and it just gets so sad and so weird. I remember the dude that was being interviewed was talking about one of his friends literally just sits in his room all day and will poop his pants just to be funny on camera and show everybody. A grown man thought it was funny to poop his pants in front of a bunch of men on the internet. You need to go out more. You need to realize what makes you undesirable and change it. And if it's something you're not willing to change, then look for the person who's going to enjoy it. You overgeneralizing women saying they love to suffer, so let's just make them suffer anyway. All the pain us men have, us incels have, let's just give it to them. It doesn't do anybody good. All these things are just ultimately negative. I really hope the people in these situations really do get the help they need. I really hope that they can realize the error of their ways, realize that they're doing a lot more harm to themselves, and you're furthering your pursuit of women. No woman wants to be with a man who calls himself an incel. Just because you sleep around, don't get play, doesn't mean you have to go around calling yourself an incel. Doesn't mean you need to hop on the internet and just dookie on women, bro. It's just crazy out here. That's all I got to say for right now. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. If you could do me a favor, just like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And other than that, take it easy and stay safe from these incels, man. So in this video, I run around and fight the Wither 5 times just to collect the Wither stars so I can make a bunch of beacons. If this is your first time here, thank you for being here. I love you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps me out a lot. Other than that, let's just get straight into these stories. The first post. I already know female punani isn't going to give me any pleasure because they can't do much action with it. Women truly are pathetic voids that should get their genitals mutilated. They can't do much with it to men anyways. Always the effing bottom. A damn traditional power dynamic. Slut. People who like or find women attractive are so disgusting and way more redacted. My question with people like this is, what's the point of even posting this? Like, why did this have to leave your head and go straight onto the internet? Not only that, but you don't have a profile picture, you don't have a name that leads back to you, so you just use your anonymity to just get your toxic take off. Like, I don't get it. So do you like men? Do you like penis? Are you gay? Why are you so disgusted and hateful towards women? Like, everything about that just means you like men. You can't do much with it, is what he said. So what can you do with a man? Oh my goodness. On top of your comment at the end, people who like or find women attractive are so disgusting. So like, gotta be gay. Gotta like men, which that's your life. You can live it how you want, but just because you like something doesn't mean you gotta trash another thing. You can't be throwing stones from glass houses. The next post. She's only one mega cock away from leaving woke-tardism. And then the reply. And I can provide what she needs. She is definitely bratty and kinky in bed. If she's acting like this in front of the cameras, imagine how she is when cameras are off. She is one of the few women I'd cheat on my wife for. She needs a conservative man to take care of her. I don't get the conclusions people jump to just off looking at a picture of somebody. You're looking at this girl smile after she won an Olympic gold medal and said, I know she's bratty and kinky off camera. I know she needs my meat, and I would cheat on my wife for this girl. What about this picture draws you to that conclusion? What is going on? I don't understand these people. What does conservative have to be with anything? Why would you cheat on your wife for this girl? It's just so many things. It's like, why? What is going on? Another side note, kind of going back to the last post I just read, I realize a lot of these forums say foids, like F-O-I-D-S. What is up with that word? Like, a lot of them use that word for people. Like I said, it's just these people have their own lingo. The next post. We need a national incel day where foids are legally obligated to give sex to us. Good luck finding a politician or politicians that will pass that. Imagine on a calendar, oh, happy National Incel Day is coming up. I can't wait. Why? Why does that make sense? Why do you think that's a good idea? What is a foid? I feel like people are never going to learn when they need things. They feel like things need to be handed to them because they feel like they're down on their luck. I feel like you're never going to learn that way. You just wishing and dreaming that people will just legally have to give you something doesn't make sense to me. Instead of bettering yourself, being more attractive, working on yourself in any shape, way, or form or fashion to make you an inkling bit of attractive, it's just easier for you to be like, nope, on this day, you do this for me. It's the life you want to live, I guess. But then we'll turn around and say women have easy lives. If that was the reality, I don't know, I hope this guy gets some help. Someone put the cherry on top perfectly in one single comment. It says, incels can't even be motivated to shower regularly or properly talk to women, yet they think they can organize a national holiday, let alone force women to F them. Then of course is the fact that even in such a bizarre situation, women would readily go to jail than F with someone they don't want to, let alone some unwashed awkward ass incel. Then the other obvious fact that even if incels get laid on such a day for such a reason, it would not cure them just as paying for sex or pity sex doesn't. Their insecurity and desire to be desired would mean they could never find real satisfaction until they get their shite together first. Cherry on top. This doesn't motivate anybody to get better. It literally just a quick fix for your solution. Just to go back to the next day when it's not National Incel Day for your life to be trash again. Can't wash your butt, can't take care of yourself, can't groom yourself, don't want to take any steps to make sure you're good as a person. You just want things handed to you. But then, in the other hand, want to sit there and say women have it easy. Women live life on easy mode. This is literally you getting that easy mode. So would you rather it be fair, or would you rather it just only be easy for you? Like, these people feel so violent towards these people. Like, it's either saying something negative or just straight demeaning them. But yeah, at the end of the day, they want them. They want their validation. They want to be seen as equal to them. It doesn't make sense. You can't pick your poison. This mentality just breeds victims. You're always the victim. It's always the Chads and Tyrones taking all the women. It's all the women picking terrible abuser men. It's just, you're always the loser. You're always the underdog in these scenarios. But instead of, when you think of an underdog story, you think of somebody who's down in their luck, but they work their way up to be the best, or they work their way to be equal to the best. Like, for example, an underdog story like Real Steel. That robot was a sparring robot that worked his way up, fight after fight, to get to the big dog and challenge the big dog. He didn't win, spoiler alert for the movie, I mean it's been out for freaking a decade plus, but he didn't win at the end, but he was the underdog that worked his way up. He didn't stay trash. He didn't stay in his basement and talk trash about people. He worked his way up to be the best. You guys don't even try. You just play victim, complain, trash people, and change nothing about your actual life. And then wonder why your life sucks. And then wonder why people don't hate you. And then wonder why people don't respect you. Because you're not a good person. You don't wash your ass, but you want to sleep with people. People don't like stink penis. I feel like that's not rocket science. That makes perfect sense. You sit there and complain about, I'm not going to settle for a fat woman like the rest of these men. Okay, but your ass stinks. Like, make it make sense. These are the same people making fun of women who are like claiming to be gold diggers, saying, hey, you're looking for this type of person, you don't deserve that type of person. You don't deserve what you want because you don't even work towards anything. You don't deserve it. You work hard, you make yourself a better person, you achieve certain things, then you can get what you want. And it'll be much easier for things to come to you. That's simple. That's like laws of life. You work towards something and you get it. Telling people they're trash for being with certain types of women, but you won't settle. You're not realistic with yourself. You tell all these women you're not going to be with a 6-foot dude that makes 6 figures, and you're not going to be with a 10 out of 10. It's simply the laws of nature. It just makes sense. Life is a numbers game, man. You're not working towards anything. You're just a trash human being that thinks women should just sleep with you just because you exist. I hope these people heal. I hope they get help. I hope they stop seeing themselves as a victim, and I hope they can be realistic with themselves, see what they need to change, and fix their standards. The next post. Faye is apparently replacing Kratos as the protagonist of God of War, so I asked Grok to fix her design, because if Sony actually expects people to buy their next woke God of War, this is the bare minimum. We won't accept anything less. Who's we? I feel like in a game like God of War, you're running around with big ass swords, and you're slicing up things. Who gives a damn how the character looks? You want to see jiggle physics while you're cutting someone's head off, while you're climbing up a giant's back and stabbing him in the eye, you want to see jiggle physics. You are that gooned out that you want to see some jiggle physics while killing people. It is not that deep, bro. It is a video game where you're killing gods. You're killing monsters. It is a violent game where you're fighting people. Why does the character that you're playing as need to be a 10 out of 10 with her tits out? Why? What are you playing the game for at that point? Why is the game woke just because it's a woman protagonist? Make it make sense, man. From the outside looking in, it just looks like it's really hard to be a game developer. No matter what you do, no matter what you make, people are going to complain. When the new Assassin's Creed came out and there was a woman protagonist in that game, oh, this game is woke, women can't fight, women can't do this. It's like, oh my god, calm down. And then when they brought Yasuke being in the game, no one cares about this is woke, a black samurai, rah rah rah. Just for a person to go around to those cultures and be like, do you guys care about this? And they're like, nah, it's pretty cool. We like to see representation. Oh, that character's pretty cool. That character's pretty cool. You people care about the wrong things when it comes to video games, and it doesn't make sense. Just play the game. There's no need for misogynistic views. There's no need to trash people for their views on things. There's no reason. You will be the same person to complain about historical accuracy, but then be mad that the character's not attractive. Like, are you playing a game or you just watching porn at that point? Like, make it make sense. It is a video game. You're supposed to be playing as a character. 9 times out of 10, you can't even really focus on the character too much. So what is the point of making the character a 10 out of 10 baddie with big tits? With a BBL, jiggle physics all over the screen. You're swinging around swords and cutting heads off. You will be the same person to say, complain about the historical accuracy of a game. You will be the same person. You just can't win as a game developer. I feel bad for these people. It sucks out here. We don't need to over-sexualize everything. We don't. Especially video games. It's a game, dude. Twiddle your thumbs. Click some keys. Press some buttons. Relax. You got one hand on the controller and another hand on the meat. You're gooned out, bro. I fixed the character design. No, you had to fix the waistline in your underwear. Like, dude, get some help.
The next post, I'm just gonna let you read the title for yourself. So yeah, Norm Nigers are kooks and Fraggle maggots. They base their life and love story around a Kikewood rom-com where they are Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts. All they care about is sex and being a good goy to Jew and not offending anyone, so they parrot anything left, or basically Reddit says. They have no free will, they will shout capitalism bad, but will be the first in line to buy the newly released $80 Mario Kart. They will claim MC files or hiding pedos, but will still vote for some same pedos and forget about it moments a new Marvel movie slop or some ancient Disney franchise sequel or remake comes. They are obsessed with consumerism and want their lives to be so similar to 90s Hollywood rom-com that their whole personality is about liking Friends and making pop culture references to look cool. We have stand-up comedians who think Friends is peak comedy. I'm sorry, I cannot take Norm Niger seriously after they laugh at a show which has a laugh track in the background, basically brainwashing your mind into laughing and thinking what comedy is. If sex is not a human right, neither is aberration. This is one of those posts where you can tell before he typed this out, he just punched his desk, stood up like Timmy Tough Shoes, and just went on a rant about ultimately nothing. What are you talking about? What inspired this? How did this come from the comments above? About consumerism, about people being kooks and Fraggle maggots, Norm Nigers. Like, dude, what is going on? This is one of those people that focus too much about the outside world. I feel like I've always been of the mindset you can only control what you can control, so who kind of cares about the rest of the world? But this guy seems to just judge everybody for literally everything. You like this type of show, you like this type of movie, you buy these type of products, you're the problem with the world. It's like, dude, some things just generally aren't that deep. I get there's repercussions to things, and if you are big fans of a lot of things, I could see the frustration you may have, but this whole rant is just gobbledygook nonsense. And like I said, the cherry on top, if sex is not a human right, neither is aberration. Man, I don't know what it is about these people. They look at sex like it's the just end all be all. Like, at the end of the day, to get to sex part, you 9 times out of 10, unless you're paying for it or, you know, you're taking it by force, you have to develop a relationship with somebody. So it doesn't just stop and start with sex. You have to build a relationship with somebody. And that is work in itself. But like I said, a lot of these people have such a terrible mindset and view of themselves or view of women that you can't even develop a relationship to begin with, to even get to that end goal, because you're so mad and wrapped up on the results that you currently have that you don't want to change anything. You just want to sit there, be a victim, blame everyone else for your issues, and you wonder why you're never going to get in a relationship, never why you're going to get sex. Sex comes with a relationship. But yeah, I feel bad for you, because like I said, you're so wrapped up on what everyone else is doing that you can't even live your life. You think you're on a better plane than everybody else, looking down at all the peasants that are living their normie lives, that are being consumers, that are falling for all the slop. You're the peak human and we're all peasants. You're right, man. Shout out to you.
The next post, which before I even read this, I'm gonna assume this dude is trolling. There's no way this person's serious, but here we go. No incel wants to have schmex with your disgusting female body. The female body is disgusting. Boobs, curves, ass, thighs, long hair, and accounting their face makes women look like succubies. How effing disgusting. I'm happy I never developed a crush on any sexually deviant succubus who are recognized as women. The thought of being attracted and having sex with a stupid foid makes me vomit. Before you assume I'm gay, I'm not. Women are just insufferable and make me want to vomit. Like, stop being such a succubus by covering up. I don't want to look at you. Ew. F. You and your filthy punani. Junko Futura is a well-known succubus in Japan, you know. Karma is a beach. I don't know what's going on, man. Or like I've been saying, you could not like something, but going out of your way to trash it just always was weird to me. There's certain cars I don't like. I don't sit there and go on Reddit. I don't sit there and go online and just trash people who like that car, or just trash the car in general. I just avoid things I don't like. You getting on the internet to voice your opinion about how much you hate women, which again, I'm assuming this is sarcasm. I assume he's making fun of an incel. If this is a real person, I'm very curious what you look like. But it's just a sad world we live in. This dude's scared of puss, bro. Wild times. Like, you can just avoid women together. And like, I mean, it is what it is. You're not really doing a net negative at that point if you're just avoiding women, but having this much hatred and vitriol and you're effing disgusting, you're a succubus, rah rah rah, it's just like, geez, dude, you seem insufferable to me. You seem like the one that needs help. You seem the one that's like ill. But you know, he had to get his take off, so here we are clowning him. Moral of the story, don't be like any of these people. Don't be insufferable, don't be hateful. If you don't like the way your life is going, actually get up and make a change. I know it's easier said than done, of course. It's easy to say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, but effort has to be made at some point. A lot of these people are just down on their luck and just don't like how their life is, so they just complain and or just trash people for no reason, because there's absolutely no reason someone needs to type out a paragraph of how much they hate women. But what does that solve? What does that do for you? What does that do for the world? Absolutely nothing. So like I said, a lot of these people just seem lost, they seem lonely, they seem very unhappy, so they want to kind of spread that unhappiness to everyone else. So again, moral of the story, be a normal human being. If you don't like the way things are, things get better. I promise you, things get better. Whenever you're down on your luck, whenever you feel like you're at the lowest low, don't take the easy way out, life gets better. To the incels out there, I genuinely hope that a lot of you find peace. I hope you guys heal before you end up finding girlfriends. I just don't understand the whole mindset of it. If you're just like, I don't see the need to put a title on anything, or as far like, I just don't get the whole incel thing to begin with, because I don't know why you need to put a title on that point in your life. The way I think of it is like say you don't have cancer, so just like walking around just saying, yeah, I'm cancer free. It's like, okay, why are you putting a title on it? Who cares? You putting emphasis on, hey, you're involuntarily celibate, just puts a stain on yourself. You're just putting a target on your back. You're making yourself feel worse than your situation actually is, because the overwhelming majority of people are probably in the same situation as you. They just don't have the mindset you have. They don't have the urge to go online and go on forums like you do and tear women down, tear themselves down, tear down other men. They're just not negative people, and they walk around, they stink, they have the nice guy trope, they have all women are terrible trope. It's like I said, it's just a lot of stereotypes, a lot of generalizations. I mean, there's generalizations on our side as people who aren't incels, like people who are just from the outside looking in, because we generalize, we think they all stink, we think they're all weird, which for the most part, if you're introverted, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're shy, which is the same thing, there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a fear of speaking to people, fear of speaking to women, there's nothing wrong with that. You are a normal human being. You don't need to put a title on that. You don't need to go around claiming you're an incel. You don't need to tell people that, because like I said, it's just like going around, I'm cancer free because I don't have cancer. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to put a title and such on that point of your life. From ages 16, no, not even ages 6, my entire life, I'm a virgin, so I'm just an incel. No, you just haven't done it with anybody. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. You're good. You don't need to feel like a loser. You don't need to tear yourself down. You're fine. If you're not happy with your life, baby steps, figure out what you need to do to find the happiness that you seek. Good luck out there, and I hope things work out for you. What's going on? Just a brief disclaimer for this video. The topic is a little crazy at some points, so specifically the first story and the third story. If it's your first time being here, thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, really helps me out a lot. And that's pretty much it. Enjoy the video. Also, as far as the gameplay goes, I just run around, defeat bosses, fight towers, and just, run around and just mess things up. If you have any questions about the mod, just comment below. I'll answer it, let you know. And again, last warning, some of these things are very triggering to people who have been victims of these things. So that's the last warning. All right, that's it. The first post. Society shouldn't shame dads for raping their daughters. The only sane being in this world. Imagine yourself in your late 40s, where you have a fat, deformed, smelly granny for a wife who occasionally cheats on you with her boss or some redacted Chad from Hinge, while your prime teen daughter wears tight butt shorts and a midriff top to display her smooth, clear skin, her cute, plump arse, and her round, jiggly bitties. But she's only doing this for the Chads in her grade since her father isn't involved in her life. Any sane man would go insane in this predicament. Would you want your baby Floyd to have her first time and her body abused by some low IQ meathead and end up becoming mentally deranged feminist? I'd be furious if that happened. You're the one that brought her into this world, so it's your sole responsibility to take her, and show her what true love really is, so that she can properly develop into a functioning member of society who shows care and respect to anyone. It's a lot to unpack here. My first reaction when seeing these is, would these people get in front of an audience of people with a microphone and say this, or get in front of anybody legitimate that they don't know and say this and really argue this point with anybody, or are they just getting on the internet and just rage baiting for attention? Because this is absolutely insane. So first of all, let's just break it apart piece by piece. So you're fat, deformed, smelly granny for a wife who occasionally cheats on you. I feel like if you get married to someone, the overwhelming majority of people would love that person until the end of time. Obviously people break up, obviously people cheat, we live in a world. But you got that far and you still are married to this person and you just are unattracted to this person. She's a fat, smelly granny and you're in your late 40s. Which, how is she a granny if you don't have a grandchild? You both are married, so you would share that grandchild. So what are you? Some fat, smelly grandpa? Moving on, the way he describes his daughter. Very unhinged, very creepy. Check this man's hard drive. If he's ever in court, he's guilty. Whatever he did it. He's guilty. She's only doing this for Chads in her grade since her father isn't involved in her life. So you are an absent father, you don't like your wife, and your wife is cheating on you with her boss and redacted Chads from Hinge. You don't want your baby girl's body to be abused by low IQ meatheads, so you're gonna take it upon yourself. The biggest thing of all that got me, you brought her into this world. I don't know if you know how science works, how biology works. You helped, you planted the seed, but you didn't bring her into this world, Like, yes, you were involved, you're for 50% of that makeup of that DNA, but you just, you just dropped the seed on the ground. You didn't grow the baby. You didn't give birth to the baby. And you said you're an absent father, so you didn't even take care of the baby. But it's your responsibility to take her, to pop that cherry. Gotcha. And all this so she can develop into a functioning member of society. I want you to think, on February 7th, 2024, somebody sat at their computer and typed this up and said, yeah, that's the one. Again, I pray that this person is trolling, rage bait. It's funny that there's a picture of Diddy at the top of the post. But man, starting this one off crazy. So the next post, Deborah Ann Hull, I'm assuming I'm saying that right, portraying Faye in the latest God of War game, apparently hideous. Someone typed out, she looks hideous, even compared to modern Sony standards. Are we supposed to believe that Kratos, the man who once bedded the goddess of love herself, would have schmecks with that thing? Even if she wore a paper bag over her head, it's still implausible to me. This is another one of those posts where I'm like, please, I would like to see what you look like. You know, you're in a grandstand and say this person's attractive. This person, there's definitely uglier people in the world. It's not even close. This woman is not unattractive by any means. Would I go for her? Not necessarily, but again, not an unattractive woman. But again, what do you look like? I want to see what you look like. I want to see what your room looks like. I want to see what you smell like. Because a take like this makes no sense. Why are you worried about where Kratos is laying his pipe? Why are you so concerned with who Kratos had kids with? Of all the things going on in life, all the things going on in the world, you're worried about where the God of War, Kratos himself, is laying that gray pipe. And you're mad because it's not a 10 out of 10 baddie by your standards. There's bigger fish to fry in the world, man. I'm sorry. Your life just seems really easy. If this is the top of your, angry bucket list to type this out, it's a video game character where you're going to be running around killing people. I don't think, the top of the bucket list needs to be that she's a 10 out of 10 baddie. There's games like that. Play Stellar Blade. I don't know what to tell you, bro. There are games like that, just play those games. You could just choose that game over hating another, Just because you like one thing over another doesn't mean you need to hate the one that you don't prefer. Just move on with your life and just enjoy what you like. Sitting here calling this woman unattractive because she doesn't fit your beauty standards doesn't make sense, but who am I? The next one. I want to lock up a Foyd in my dungeon and only feed her my rum. Having my own personal flesh slave, which could only feast on my rum, is my new fantasy. This rum dumpster would be repulsed by me constantly her and feeding her my rum, but that would only turn me on even more. Eventually, when she is starving, she would beg for my seed to go into her mouth because there is no other choice. I want to break her mind until she wants to end it all, but I won't let her. I'll torture her, and when she reaches a certain age, I would unalive her, chop her up, and dispose of her body in some river, and repeat the cycle. And then he puts in parentheses as if this makes any of this sane or anything better. This is only a fantasy. I'm not actually going to do it. What happened in your life to where you feel this is a normal thought, a normal fantasy? Normally people are like, hey, I want to be tied up. Hey, I want you to dress like a nurse. Hey, I want you to do something a little bit strange. Hey, put your toes in my mouth. This guy's fantasy is to torture somebody. But don't worry, he's not actually going to do it. Just fantasizes about it. With this, I feel like this is like reason to put somebody like in a mental hospital. Not even mental, just something to keep them out of society and kind of reform their brain. He needs to go to rehab. He's broken. This is a broken person that typed this out and believes it. Later on, I'm not going to read all of this, but later on in one of the screenshots, he says, it's not a fantasy. I'm actually going to do it. So even these parentheses at the end of this one mean nothing. I was going to read some of these, but I can't stomach it. So I'm just going to scroll through the screenshots. Obviously, some words are going to be blurred out. You could put 2 and 2 together, but this is a whole forum. These people are real. And I don't think they're joking. There's a difference between edgy jokes and you're going to commit a crime. You want to commit a crime. You're just waiting for your opportunity to do it. Like, I see this guy probably like getting groceries and seeing an unattended child and like enacting this fantasy. Like, this is sick. There's no excuse for it either. Like, you not being able to get women or score women should be no reason for you to have these type of thoughts and fantasies. You not having success being in relationships, going on dates, none of this should excuse any type of thinking like this or any behaviors like this. And if you genuinely think so, you need help, bro. You really need help. Or just a quick one. I would feed her good. I would blank her till she's pregnant and gives birth. Then I will let her go with the kid in her hand. That's the most brutal you can do to them. She would have to raise the son of an INCEL, her, or kill the kid and go to prison, lol. Like, they think this is genuinely funny. Again, how bad does your life have to be, or like meaningless can your life be to get to this point to just type things up and think it's funny? Because I'm not the comedian police. Like people always get on the internet and joke, say, hey, this comedian's not funny, this comedian says a lot of things that are blah 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 blah, insert buzzword. That's none of my business. I don't care about anything. Again, I'm not trying to police what people think is funny, but some things on this level, they just can't be funny. There's no sane individual on this planet who would get up and laugh with you on these topics or these things. Again, the key word, sane person. Jeez, bro. The next post. Why should we respect foids? All throughout our lives, we've been taught that we need to treat foids with respect and be gentlemen, but why should we do that when they treat us like shite? The problem with foids is that they are entitled and they think we're supposed to give them some type of special treatment for having Virginias. Then on top of that, these beaches still want to claim that they are oppressed and that men are so bad even though all the societal privileges in life go in their favor. Foids don't know how easy they have it, I swear. I'm honestly getting sick of them at this point, seriously. Like, why do we still have to deal with them? I mean, you just stay at home. You don't have to deal with women at all, really, unless you work with them and or go to school with them. But you don't really have to deal with women if you don't want to, since you hate them so much and you wish they disappeared. But my question to you though is, if they did that, what would you do? What would you hate then? Because at this point, I just feel like these people are just miserable. They're just looking for something to hate, and I guess for whatever reason they disagree with women just because women don't want to be with them, so they just by their logic hate women. Instead of just hating the girl that broke your heart or hurt your feelings, you hate all women. Like, I never understood that. Like, people who watch, for example, like Fresh and Fit or anything, not a fan of those guys. Not gonna sit there and get up here and slander them. If you're a fan, F it. It is what it is. You live your life, bro. But it's like the people who are sitting at home watching those live streams and then just typing on their keyboards and or donating to roast the women on the panel. Like, bro, you don't know this girl. You'll never meet this girl, but you so passionately hate her just because you have differing opinions on things. Or you think she's lesser than because she lives a fast life. And then you attribute that same woman on that panel to all women because that makes sense. Again, instead of the person that broke your heart or hurt your feelings being the center of that hate, it's directed towards all women because that logically makes sense in your brain. Women don't want you, and it's women's fault that they don't want you, not your own. Nothing to do with you. You're perfect. Even if you don't think you're perfect, you think you're less than. It just ranges so much with these guys. Like, there's some that blame women for everything, and then there's some that just have so low self-esteem they don't even try. There's like no middle ground. It's the extremist hate and the extremist self-loathing. Like, there's no middle ground. There's no happy medium for these guys. And my question is, if they were to get into a relationship, how fast would they self-sabotage it with what they're thinking and the ideas that they have on women? Because what if you finally do get a woman that likes you? Do you still feel your way about all women? You just got the one exception that's a perfect individual. It's like, dude, none of this thinking is based on logic or reasonable. It's all just emotional nonsense. But on the other hand, you want to sit there and say women are always thinking emotionally, women always wear their emotions on their sleeves. But that's exactly what incels do. They attribute their bad experiences with women with life being bad, with all girls being horrible, all girls are the same, jump into conclusions just like they say women do. You literally are two sides of the same coin. You literally are exactly what you hate, just the man version of it. You'll get up here looking like Rumpelstiltskin, but then sit here and say, hey, that woman's a 4, that woman's a 5, that woman, like, dude, you stink, you're short, you're ugly, but you have the audacity to sit here and rate all these people who aren't even bothering you. Help is needed. The Michael Jordan meme.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
The next post about someone complaining about something that's not the end of the world. The amount of work required to look good. Women, nothing. Just don't eat like a freaking hippo every single day. Men, years of hard work at the gym many times a week and a strict diet with enough proteins and little fats and sugars. Like, dude, this is a nothing burger issue. The same could be true. It also boils down to genetics. Whoa, shocker. Some people are, They hit the genetic lottery. It is what it is, bro. You just got the bad deck of cards. It's okay. But like you said, you could work hard. Would you rather just have everything or work hard for it? I don't know what to tell you. And then it's crazy too, because what a lot of incels do is they think that this picture of this man is like the peak. When if you go, like, you've seen videos, I'm pretty sure you've seen videos online too. A bunch of men going up to women and be like, hey, what do you prefer? What type of body style? The overwhelming majority of women don't like a muscular dude. The overwhelming majority of women would choose a dad bod. And I'm not necessarily saying you need to have a beer gut or anything like that, but just a lot of women don't like that much muscle. They genuinely don't. But you know what incels are going to do? They're going to hear a woman say what they want, and they're going to do the opposite, because Foids don't know what they want, because that makes sense. That makes sense in their brain. A woman will look you in your eyes and say, hey, I don't like a man with a lot of muscles. And you will proceed to be like, nah, I gotta look good for the men. Another example, a lot of women, the majority of women, would get up on the internet and say, hey, they don't like big meats. But an incel will get on the internet and be like, I need to have a 12-incher. I need to start jelking. I need to get a pump. I need to do this. I need to tie a brick to my sack. A lot of women say they don't want that big meat, bro. They said that a lot of women are saying, hey, it's overrated. It hurts. A good 6 inches is good, bro. That's all you need. Which, granted, some of you don't have that, which, you know, unlucky. But again, men will get up on the internet, obsessed about having muscles, obsessed about having a giant meat, just for women to say, hey, I don't want muscles. Hey, I don't want a giant 12-inch meat. I just want average. But average isn't good enough for incels. Even though the overwhelming majority are just simply average. You think less of yourself because you don't look like Kratos, apparently, according to the last post. But again, I'm just a guy. Again, it's more so about incels wanting something for themselves that women don't even want, and it doesn't make sense. But then you will sit there and complain that you're not getting women when you are literally doing the opposite of what they're attracted to, and are mad at the results. At this point, you are pleasing men. You want to get fit for other men. You want a big meat to impress other men. It's not for women. Food for thought. The next post from Liam Lloyd. Mud shark spotted. Didn't like her photo taken. Childbearing age woman betraying their people. Traitor. Then just shows a white woman eating food with a black man. I didn't say anything to them. Silently took my photo and kept walking. Ice cold. Whew, he hit us hard with that one. This is a very weird thing to do, Liam. Women are destroying the entire planet for gangbangs. These women need to be shunned and avoided. Expose them all. Take all their pictures. They are filth. Taking photos of random people while they're eating lunch is an objectively weird thing to do, Liam. Stunts like this make us all on the right look insane and creepy. Pull your head in, you effing redacted. If you are close with a black man and I see it, I will take your photo and post it. F you. Pull your head in, redacted. I agree with you, but we should apply the same standard to men who decide to procreate with nuns. These men should be forced to assimilate to black-brown culture and should be shunned from their group too. Absolutely. They are all the white man's public places. The women didn't build it. The non-whites didn't build any of it. The white men will do what we please. Hate to break this to you, Liam, but I don't know if you've ever driven by a construction zone, residential or commercial. The overwhelming majority of the workers are not white. Shocker. I work in that field. I'm gonna tell you, the overwhelming majority of workers on those fields are not white. Would I say nine times out of 10 are the ones, the higher ups in management, white? Yeah, but as far as the people who built it, like you said, built it, not designed it, not was over the project, built it, are not white. Food for thought. Someone replied, whoa mate, best not to photograph randoms and post them on social media. That's not good. Pretty tame thought. Then Liam's profile pic is unhinged. That's not a random photo. That is a female warming her hands at the invader's hearth. She needs to be held accountable by whatever white man she decided to fall back on. White men deserve loyal, loving white women. Jesus, bro. All this just to end up in the cuck chair. Then other people chime in. You just have to look at them and they know. They're always filled with shame when you give them that look, and they know exactly what that look is because they receive it so often. We're supposed to pretend they are honorable and he is a gentleman, she is a whore, and he is a bioweapon, united against white men. And so on and so forth. I'm gonna stop reading now. I'll scroll through the rest of the screenshots. You can pause to read them. Liam Lloyd is an unhinged man. I wonder what the bow tie and the strawberry are in his name. His profile picture is scary. These are the type of people that live on the internet. Again, instead of living their lives, just focus on things they can control. They want to sit there and police people's relationships. They want to police whether a black man and a white woman could be together. They want to police literally everything. Again, that just tells me your life isn't hard enough. It just tells me you're very bored, you're very miserable, that you're choosing this to be mad about. When there's real things to be mad about. Corruption with money, billionaires getting richer, the middle class disappearing. There's a lot of things you could be mad about. But this random white woman eating lunch with her assuming black man, he's a bioweapon and she enjoys gangbangs just because they're eating a meal together. A lot of assumptions being made, a lot of conclusions being jumped to. Liam is unhinged. I hope he gets help. Yeah, the next post. Feminists are panicking, realizing men still love women and not girl bosses. Crazy. And it shows a picture of Sydney Sweeney. I don't know who this is, I just know everyone's obsessed with her. Sydney Sweeney is a partner in 2 production companies, owns 1 clothing brand, and has strategic partners with 2 others, and owns majority equity stake in a number of beauty companies. She studied business at UCLA. She is unmarried, unpartnered, and childless. She is the definition of a girl boss. And she's not going to see this and fall madly in love with you. Again, people incels see what they want to see and just make up whatever reality / la la land in their own head. It just simply could have been, wow, this girl's beautiful. But no, you made up a fantasy in her head as if this woman isn't famous. So how is she not a girl boss? She is literally famous. I'm pretty sure she's from Euphoria, I think, and other projects. She's in TV shows and movies. She's famous, but she's not a girl boss. She makes a lot of money, but she's not a girl boss. Logic isn't logicking. You made up your fantasy about this woman being a traditional housewife, even though she's in TV shows and movies, but she's not a girl boss. Gotcha. The last post for today, and this one is the cherry on top that puts everything into perspective. So I met up with this girl I used to work with to go to the movie. I haven't seen her in years, but we talked a lot on Facebook and she was kind of cute. I thought this was my chance. When I showed up, she had done herself up to maybe a 7. Tight pants, a low-cut shirt, and her face done up. But then it all fell apart. She pushed my hand away when I tried to touch her hand or leg in the movies and kind of leaned away from me the whole time. After the movie, I wanted to go to dinner, but she said she had some stuff to do. When I asked her later what happened, she said, I didn't put any effort in and was really turned off because she said my clothes were dirty and I smelled. She won't go out with me a second time. It isn't my fault that she painted her face and dressed like a whore to go to a movie, but this is the closest I've ever got to a real female. Let's sit for a second. So everything is her fault. She said, you didn't put any effort in, your clothes are dirty, and you stink. It's not my fault she painted her face and dressed like to go to a movie. Was your response to you smelling like ass and your clothes being dirty. It's like someone's been like, dang, you burned down your house. It's not my fault your shoes are red. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. No accountability. She's done herself up to a 7. I tried to touch her and she leaned away from me. Gave you the reasons why, and you still are not understanding what the issue is. You stink and your clothes are dirty. That's why she doesn't like you. But it's not because I didn't shower. Like, oh God. That's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. I want to hear your thoughts on some of these stories, some of these unhinged people. What are you thinking? And that's pretty much it. Hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for being here. Again, like and subscribe. That's it. Bye.